Hello, episode 38. Guess what we got coming up today? We've got an interview with the man, the Batman. And I swear to you, I was just about to say Rick, and then when I clicked to put you on, I saw the mask. Oh my God, it's hysterical. I was going to click on you, and I saw you. That's awesome. And that's a Keaton cowl. Look at that. There you go.
It is the Keaton cowl.
Oh
I've
God,
had this.
Great.
Oh, geez, since mid '80s.
You got the jaw for it. Look at you. You look good.
Yeah, I gotta do my props. I got my Robin. I don't know if you can see this or not.
There you go. There you go. That's
yeah,
awesome.
It's my daughter.
Awesome. Look at
birthday party. Bianca.
Was it?
Yeah. So it's fun.
Great.
I do a lot of birthday. Not a lot, but I've done some birthday parties.
Right.
You know,
I have a picture. I wish I would have had it on the computer. I have a picture of my girl and I. She was Supergirl, and I had
nice.
I didn't have as good of a mask as you have on, but I had a cowl on. That's so funny.
I'm going to lose this.
You see, what's that? You're going to go see? I don't blame you. I don't blame you there.
It is
very quick story. I did some display work, I guess you could say, for Warner Brothers back in '92, and they were promoting in New York City the Batman Returns movie.
Okay,
and they had us put up a display for some big shindig they were doing, and it was the original costumes of Batman, Catwoman, and Penguin.
Right.
So as I'm putting them on the mannequins to put them in display, I was like,
you gotta, right?
Put it on with the cape. Let's take a picture. Hurry up.
Yep.
I had to. And for what it's worth, Batman shoes are Nikes.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were Nikes, just Nike high tops, and then they had a piece that went on top, make it look like a boot.
But let me tell you something. It always seems like whenever I do these birthday parties, it's always summertime. Never get one in the winter. And this suit, I mean, because I have everything top to bottom. You know,
you do? Oh, boy.
Yeah, I bought the Keaton costume when the movie came out.
That's awesome.
From Warner Brothers, I bought it. It was close to $500. And I don't know where the hell I came up with the money for that. But it's
that's why it looks so good.
It's all rubber. So
yeah,
when I do these in the summer, I'm like, you've got 15 minutes. I tell the parents, I'm like, you got 15 minutes because after that, Batman's turning into a puddle.
Yeah, Batman's passing out. Yeah. Well, his real suit too that I worked with was all rubber. The cape was rubber. The chest plate was rubber. Foam, rubber.
Yep.
Actually, the emblem, you put the cowl on, and then you put the cape on, and the emblem you had to screw in, and it held the cape on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, it's not very conducive to walking around in the heat. That's for sure. That man has to take the summers off or something.
I know. I was like, why is Batman crying? No, Batman's sweating.
He's sweating to death. It's so funny. We talked about some of the similarities that you and I, with Batman. And Batman obviously came up when we found that out.
Yeah,
and I've been since I was a kid, man. Since I was a kid, I've been watching that.
Absolutely.
And why'd you steer towards Batman, not Superman or not Spider-Man?
I don't. I just remember being so little. And it was always Batman. I don't know why. Watching the Justice League cartoon in the morning, it was always Batman. I liked Superman.
Same.
But I mean, Batman was my guy. And
same here. When I was a kid, I used to rush home to watch Superman. George Reeves, the TV show that was black and white and then color later. For those that you don't know what black and white is, it's not a Michael Jackson album. Go look it up.
Right.
And then, of course, Batman, Adam West. I just love. I think the thing that I liked about Batman was that he didn't have superpowers,
right?
Which meant if I had a cape, I could do what he was doing with some training,
right?
And
without repeating myself from last week, I said the thing about Rocky. the thing about Batman is you could be either one.
Yeah.
You can't be Superman because we can't fly. We don't have X-ray vision.
Sure. We're not from Krypton.
You can't be Green Lantern or Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
You can be Batman or Rocky.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I think that was the big
when you're a kid, you believe that.
Sure.
You think, I was, excuse me, when Batman was on TV, came out the year I was born. But of course, I saw it on reruns. I didn't see it when it was on prime time. So I was like 7, 8, 9 in that time frame when I was on all the time with Superman.
Yeah.
And you think I could, I remember taking a bath towel, making a cape out of it. And, I got a Batman mask and that was it. I was good to go.
Do you remember? Oh God! Do you remember in elementary school the costumes we used to wear? They were like today's costume,
and it was just a rubber band.
Yeah, that piece of.
Now you go out there, you look like you're making a movie. They got these amazing costumes.
Right.
But what they don't have is the imagination of an 8-year-old who takes the garden hose and throws it up on the roof and catches it on the gutter and thinks he could climb up the side of the building like Batman. And then when he falls off the gutter and the gutter lands on him and his father comes out and says, "See, you're not Batman."
Yeah.
I'm talking a little bitter because, yes, that was me. So, ripped the gutter right off, my friend. I took the old spigot garden hose where you pressed it.
Yep.
Flung it up there. It finally caught on the gutter. I made it about halfway up before the gutter ripped off.
No kidding. Hey, good for you.
It hurt when I fell. The father comes outside. He didn't even yell at me. He just looks at me. He goes, "You're not Batman." Thanks. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah,
that's right. Not yet. But that was the old Adam West, man. And then they made a movie. They made the movie. Remember in the 60s? There you go.
Yes.
Where the Rocky connection is with Mr. Burgess Meredith as the Penguin.
Absolutely correct.
Cesar Romero, Joker. Catwoman had a few incarnations. It had Eartha Kitt, Lee Merriweather, and the very ever sexy Julia Newmar.
Right.
And then Frank Gorshin was the Riddler.
Right.
And they had a few guest villains here and there.
Well, didn't John Astin do some other Riddler too?
Yes, he did. Oh, you're right. Yes, he did. Wow, great call. I forgot about that. Yeah, he did. And then they had Mr. Freeze was Eli Wallach.
Right.
And
Vincent Price was on there for a bit.
Vincent Price was Egghead.
Egghead, yeah.
That's right. That's awesome.
It's funny because I was, eating breakfast this morning and I turned on the TV for a second, just getting ready to start the day, and there it was. Batman and Robin, I'm like, what?
That's awesome. I would love to watch that again. I haven't seen that in so long. And so, remember when they would climb up the side of the building and every episode there was like a different guest star, like Sammy Davis Jr. was there one time. Yes. Whoever was there. And at the time, you didn't even know who these guest stars were. You were like, who's this guy?
That's great.
My God. But since those days, there have been a lot of incarnations of Batman and other superheroes.
Right.
George Reeves was Superman on the TV series for a while, and actually Ben Affleck played Superman in a film about George Reeves' life.
True. He's one of the only actors who has played. He's one of the only actors who has played Batman and Superman.
Batman and Superman. Yeah. And that was a really good movie too, by the way. If anybody wants to catch that,
I have not seen that.
It was good, and I apologize, but the title is drifting. I don't remember what the title was, so I will have to go to my trusty little Google here and find out, because it was really good. I didn't realize how much mental pain, I guess you could say, George Reeves was in through his career. Hollywoodland, it was called.
Oh.
And it was an older movie, 2006 it came out. But it was about, obviously, George Reeves playing Superman and the mystique of Superman, and everybody thought he was Superman, and it was it took a toll on him. And those of you that don't know the real life, I should say, George Reeves did commit suicide. But this movie explains a lot. It was very good. Ben Affleck did a good job.
I will definitely have to watch that because I don't know as if I knew of it. Yeah,
it was a good film. And then after that, we had the best Superman to date at the time, and he did, I think, 4. Was the
there was
Christopher Reeve.
4 of them.
4, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Superman the movie. I think the last one was 4 Quest for something or other. I forget.
Yeah.
And they didn't, each one got a little bit worse, I guess you could say. But the first one was amazing.
Right.
And Quest for Peace. That was 1987.
Was that the one with Richard Pryor?
It might have been because that one was really bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I apologize. It was really bad.
It was terrible.
Let's see here. I'll have to look more. Actually, no, it wasn't. No, that must have been 3.
Okay.
That must have been 3. Let's see here. I'm sorry, guys. We're Googling. We should have had this stuff ready for you, shouldn't we?
Do you remember the one? I can't because I haven't seen these in a while. But the one where
83 was Richard Pryor. Sorry.
Okay, when he gave up his powers, his superpowers, because he wanted to be human and be with Lois.
Right.
And the guy at the diner beats him up.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he gets his powers back, and he goes back to the diner, and he's like, he throws him down the bar. He's like, been working out.
Yep. He was the perfect mix of the nerdy Clark Kent that you couldn't see being Superman. Then, of course, you take the glasses off, and he's the perfect Superman with the chiseled jaw. And he was probably about 6'5". I mean, he was a tall guy and good-looking guy, blue eyes and all. And very sad what happened to him with his horse accident, made him paralyzed and all. And, of course, we lost him years later. But he did a phenomenal job. But that was, 78?
Yeah, that was 70s for sure. I'm pretty sure that was 70s.
We didn't have any more comic book movies until 1989.
Okay.
What term I'm looking for? That's that it was for Batman was Michael Keaton, and Jack Nicholson was the Joker. But man, did they prove everybody wrong?
Right,
they proved everybody wrong. That thing. Remember seeing that in the theater? Oh man!
Tim Burton was
the first time I saw that Batmobile. Yeah, he did that one. Yeah, a couple years later, we had the Batman Returns, which Tim Burton did as well. But we could discuss both of those now. It's do
you remember when
that Batmobile?
Do you remember when Do you remember when they announced that Keaton was going to be Batman?
Oh man, they bashed him. I did it too. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
I did it too.
I was like, "There's no way."
That's all I knew him. Yeah, all I knew him from was comedies.
Right.
And I didn't want to buy it. I was like, "What are you kidding? He's Mr. Mom. He's what are you doing?"
I don't think he was Beetlejuice at the time, but
I think that was after.
It was the furthest thing. I'm like, I couldn't see it. I'm like, there is no way. But boy, did he prove us wrong.
He proved us very wrong, very wrong. And there were a lot of actors out there that were put in roles that we were like, really, that's what they're going to do. And then when you watch it, you go, oh, okay. So maybe those casting directors do know what they're doing. But yeah, he definitely proved us wrong. Now, I remember for a long time, there was rumor that Robin Williams was going to be the Joker. And I absolutely could see that.
Sure.
But I don't know if I could see him being the evil part of the Joker. And then there was rumors he was going to be the Riddler.
Okay.
And you could kind of see that a little more than the Joker.
Sure.
But Nicholson, who of course is one of the greatest actors of our time, he did a phenomenal job. Michael Keaton did a great job as both Bruce Wayne and Batman. And it was good. I loved it. It took the world by storm. It was everywhere.
Oh yeah. McDonald's, Burger King, everybody had the glasses, the cops,
toys, glasses, T-shirts. I never saw so much. I was in my glory. It was hard to get Batman stuff when it's like there wasn't too much of it except for comic books.
Right.
Now the merchandising was flowing. A couple years later, which was 92, they came out Batman Returns. Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman and Danny DeVito as Penguin. And Batman.
Boy, did he nail that.
Oh man! They both did. They both did a great job.
Yeah.
But him as DeVito as Penguin, though, he was perfect.
It was like almost grotesque. He was grotesque, but still, you couldn't stop watching him.
He was so good, so good.
Yeah.
That one actually is my favorite amongst the two Keaton films.
Is it really?
Batman Returns. Yeah, Batman Returns.
Okay.
I just think it has more meat on the bone. I think it tells a lot more.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton's already established as Batman. I don't know, just a different film. I like it more. It was. Okay. I love the darkness of both of them.
Right.
I like that it went far away from the campy.
Oh yeah.
Adam West series. The comic books, they were different. They were like that.
But wasn't that kind of? I know that was my thought when they cast Keaton to be Batman. I'm like, I hope we're not going to go down that road again. With the campiness, the pow, the bang, the zoom.
Right. Yeah, we were lucky that it wasn't them, but it did come, didn't it?
Yeah.
It did
3 and 4 were.
we only had to wait a couple more years, and then we got Batman Forever, which was the departure of Tim Burton and Michael Keaton, and the addition of Val Kilmer and Joel Schumacher.
Right.
And talk about campy and corny. You didn't think it could get more campy and corny until the next one came out, but yeah, I mean, Jim Carrey, the Riddler, he obviously played it way over the top, which, I mean, I don't know. I guess I could buy it. Tommy Lee Jones, he didn't even seem like he wanted to be there. It was like
right, yeah.
The whole Robin thing. Robin really wasn't introduced like it was supposed to be. He was more of the rebel teen. It drives me crazy when they don't follow the comic book story.
Right, right.
And I know I'm a purist in that matter. A lot of people could care less, but the people that are really diehard comic book people, I've said this before in other shows, and it's not putting anybody down. I don't care what you want. You want a black person, a Chinese person, I don't care. But don't make the roles that are comic book accurate different. Create another superhero.
I couldn't agree more.
I don't want to see Robin be a girl. I don't want to see, Penguin be black. It's just my opinion, and it's just the continuity of the comic world.
Right.
There's plenty of them out there. There's plenty of female superheroes. There's plenty of I shouldn't say plenty. There are superheroes of color and of other nationalities and races and whatnot. And of course, growing up, you only read so many.
Right.
But that one was wacky. But oddly enough, that one made a ton of money. Batman Forever.
No kidding.
Yeah, it made a ton of money.
I know they cast Val Kilmer for the lips, but yeah.
I mean, a good-looking guy. When he's Bruce Wayne, he's got the looks to him. I get it, but he I don't know. It just was all around just crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't a good fit. And then
no.
I was, like you, excited for Clooney because you could see Clooney as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Well, like we said earlier, you didn't think it could get any more campier than the Joel Schumacher Batman Forever. And Joel Schumacher gave us Batman and Robin. And yes, I was ecstatic to see George. I love George Clooney. I do like him as an actor. I was a big fan of ER back in the day. But man, was that film campy. Oh my Lord. It made the 66 Adam West movie look like it was just normal. It was just, I mean, Batman whips out the Batman credit card, don't leave home. Come on.
I know, really.
Man. It was just Mr. Freeze. Everything was chill, and everything was chill and frozen. It was just so bad.
Right. And I agree with I couldn't agree more with following the storylines, like you were saying. Yeah. I can't agree more. I'm a purist at heart.
That's all I'm asking. Just follow the storyline. That's all.
And there's a million of them out there. There's a million storylines.
Yeah. If you dig deep, there's so many storylines that go so many different ways. And there's also some, I don't want to say not marquee superheroes. That's not really fair to them. But let's face facts. The marquee superheroes are Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman.
Sure.
Or, you go to Marvel, they're Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk. They're the marquee guys.
Yeah.
And there's sub-marquee guys like in DC, you got Daredevil. Well, Daredevil's Marvel. I'm sorry.
Aquaman.
Okay, thank you. Green Lantern,
which
Cyborg.
Yeah.
But you could dig into those characters and find some more stuff that you want to do. And they even had other comic books that went in other directions that weren't maybe as popular, but maybe if you take that storyline and put it on the big screen, it could be popular.
Right.
But like you said, don't stray from it. Don't make, that's the thing that aggravates me about today. And I'm old fashioned. I know a lot of people might comment on this episode and, oh, Tony, you shouldn't say that, but I'm sorry. Like I said, don't make Robin a girl. Don't make Joker black. Don't make this one that. Yeah, and it's nothing against those races or sexes. That was what this. Here's another good example. They did the remake of Magnum PI on TV series.
Yes.
I never watched it because there's no way in the world I was going to watch it. I'm a diehard Tom Selleck fan. They made Higgins a girl.
Right.
What? Come on.
I
that's all I'm saying. Just don't, just add another character.
Sure.
I don't care if you add a girl in there. Add her. Great. Add a black person. Add a Spanish person. Whatever you want to add.
Well, they did that with Spider-Man. They added a Hispanic Spider-Man, I believe. I can't remember the kid's name.
No, I know what you're talking about too. That was in the animated one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I understand where you want to draw in new blood,
absolutely,
to the series. So,
absolutely, I do understand
get that in their spinoffs and whatever. But I've been looking, and like I tried to watch the latest Thor. I never hardly ever will turn off a movie.
Right.
As Deb will tell you, if I started, I'm going to finish it. I turned it off because I'm like, I'm sorry, Jane is not Thor. Jane is Jane.
Right.
Jane is Jane. Jane is
exactly.
Exactly.
I couldn't buy it. To rewind a little bit, what you were saying about the Spider-Man, at least in that sense, in that context, what they were doing, it was a multiverse.
Yes.
So there was different Spider-Men. He wasn't Peter Parker.
Right.
They did not make him Peter Parker. He was whatever, I forget, Milo or something, or
I can't remember his name.
I forget what his name was too, but he was Morales or whatever.
Yeah, Morales,
right? And so he was the Spider-Man in that universe.
Yes.
I'm all for that.
Absolutely.
Great. No problem. Don't make him Peter Parker.
Right.
You're not going to make Bruce Wayne a girl. I mean, it's just, so that they did that correctly, actually. I should say correctly. In my opinion, I think they did it well.
Right. But, the only one I saw, and this is going back a ways, but it was The Dark Knight Returns. Do you remember that comic book?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Where Batman is in his 60s.
Yeah, and Robin was a girl. Yeah,
Robin was a girl, and I believed it because of the time frame. Time had moved on. Nightwing had was gone. Robin. And Bruce Wayne was now older, and he was kind of dragged back into this.
Yeah,
so I.
But they made a storyline that followed that, and she became a Robin. She wasn't Dick Grayson,
right?
She wasn't, she wasn't Jason Todd,
right?
So they made the storyline.
Speaking of Jason Todd, did you vote?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
And how did you vote?
I'll keep that to myself. How did you vote?
I voted to kill him off.
So did I.
I did not like him. I didn't like him.
I know.
He was a weenie.
It's like growing up, I grew up with Batman and Robin. But as I got older and I was reading the books more, Batman really was there was no little colorful sidekick. It didn't, it shouldn't have been. So, I did too.
Yeah.
But with Batman and Robin, the movie we just talked about, nobody wanted to touch Batman for quite a while.
Yeah.
Everybody stayed away from Batman for a long time.
Yeah.
Until thankfully, Christopher Nolan decided to do Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises. The trilogy that, in my opinion, with Christian Bale as Batman, first of all, sorry. In my opinion, that should have been their stepping stone to their DC universe and extended it from there, like a la Iron Man 2, and Iron Man 3. And then they should have extended it from there. They should have took that Dark Knight trilogy and intertwined it with Wonder Woman and whatever else they had going on.
Okay.
But they didn't. But we did get the best Joker ever, which was Mr. Heath Ledger.
Right.
Unfortunately, he passed and left us. A great talent. Right. There's so much surrounding his performance and how great it was. And it was. It was just, you know what I liked about it? It combined the future of comic movies with following the storyline, but also making it where it was real in our society.
Sure.
So you look at Batman, even look at Batman and Batman Returns. You can't really relate to that a little bit with Gotham, the way it looks.
Yeah, yeah.
And the way they were dressing and so forth, so on. But with the Dark Knight trilogy or Nolan's trilogy, it was just a regular city. It looked like a regular city. Even him dressed as Joker with the makeup, he looked just like some nutcase. He didn't look like Cesar Romero in the 60s.
Yeah.
Or even Jack Nicholson for that matter. Jack Nicholson was over the top with the Joker look.
Right.
So it really got you thinking like, this was real. This could be really happen. This is how somebody would fight crime in today's day and age.
The only thing I didn't like about that trilogy, I did not like the cowl. I couldn't stand the cowl.
Oh, the cowl. Yeah, I have to agree.
I just didn't like it.
But as far as aesthetics go, as far as filming the movie and being realistic with what he needed, it was real because he needed to move his head.
Right, I get it.
It's that simple. But I agree with you 100%. Now, see, in Batman Begins, I liked his costume. I liked the Batman costume in Begins. It was the typical old-fashioned cowl. It had the wider bat. I did not like Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. I agree.
Yeah,
But I like the Batman Returns cowl. That's
yeah. They were with Bane and what was that? I can't remember the actor's name, but boy, he did an amazing job. And they brought in Talia al Ghul.
Tom Hardy was Bane.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy.
Just to bring in, I remember reading it, and again, being a purist, I still have the book. And I can't remember the name of it right now, a hardcover book. It's a Batman book. No pictures. So it's not even a comic. It was a novel with Bane.
Novel. Yeah.
And the whole book was based on, or the movie, I should say, with Bane in it, was based off of that book. And, I remember reading the book and then watching the movie and seeing how well they pulled from the book. Because I remember visualizing it in my head as I was reading it. And I remember seeing it on the screen. And
that was when he broke Batman's back, and he put him in the wheelchair. I mean, they didn't do that in the movie, but I remember that book. That was good.
Yeah, very good book.
It was. That's when it started taking the darker turn to filming the DC movies. And when I say darker, I don't really mean subject. I mean more look of the film, look of the characters. It wasn't as bright colors. I mean, even when we had Wonder Woman came out, which she did a phenomenal job. I knew nothing about Gal Gadot before Wonder Woman. My old days were Linda Carter on TV.
Yeah, true.
But she did a fantastic job, and the movie was extremely well done. But she even had a little bit of a muted tone to all the stars and stripes that she has in her uniform. Mm-hmm. And same thing with Man of Steel. Man of Steel, in my opinion, Henry Cavill is just the perfect Superman, Clark Kent. Everything from his looks, his demeanor, everything about him. But look at how dark and muted his S is, and the yellow is in the S, and even the blue. The blue's more of a darker royal, not that bright royal that we see in the comic books. Right. Everything started getting darker, and that was leading us up to Justice League. Oh boy. I know you have an opinion of Justice League.
I do, but I'm going to step back one step, and I do not like what they just did to Henry Cavill. I don't like it.
Even get me started.
I don't like it. I can't. I'm going to go on a limb.
No, I couldn't agree with you. Well,
I can't stand the reboots. How many reboots?
Deb, go get him. Go get him.
Oh
go get him a new Rambo glass.
How many
Get him some
times
whiskey.
can I watch a guy turn into Superman? You know, how many times?
Well, the thing that aggravates me about it is that you already have these movies that are established that connected them all together.
Yes.
You know, let's go from there. But you said you want, first of all, James Gunn, I think, is a joke. I think he is an utter joke to lead this DC universe.
Yeah.
And his work will prove me wrong or right. It's that simple. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. Maybe he will. I hope he does. I want to see some good stuff out there.
Sure.
You know, but I don't think he's going to. But having said that, what I have a problem is that 2 months prior to telling Henry Cavill he's not going to be Superman anymore, you told him he is. And he has and I'm not giving anything away, everybody. Black Adam came out a very long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But he has a post-credit scene with Black Adam.
And that was very good.
So what are you setting up? Why'd you have him come out?
Right.
He comes out and he says, it's been a while since the world's been this nervous. Black Adam, we have to talk. And then it fades to black.
And what an amazing scene for all of 10 seconds.
Phenomenal
and
scene.
I'm like on the edge of my seat saying, I can't wait to see this matchup.
It had the old Superman music, not the Man of Steel music. It had the old Christopher Reeve Superman music. So when you filmed that, you didn't know you were going to tell him we don't need him anymore?
Oh,
just stop.
Yeah.
And then he goes on his social media and says, I'm back. And then 2 months later, retract.
Yeah.
This James Gunn's a joke.
I can't tell you how excited I was after watching Black Adam and seeing that scene. And I'm flashing back to when it was Superman and Shazam versus Black Adam comic book. I'm thinking of this is going to be an amazing movie.
And according, of course, we'll never know about the truth on this. According to a lot that I've read, that was Dwayne Johnson's goal, was to do what you just said, the Superman, Shazam, Black Adam comic book theme storyline. Yeah. And he was fighting for him. He wanted Henry Cavill to come back as Superman. I don't understand what the problem is. He didn't do a bad job. Look at him.
Who, Henry Cavill?
Yeah.
Henry Cavill.
Look at him alone.
He is the epitome of Superman. Nothing away from
Look
Reeves.
At him. Exactly. He's got the chin. He's got the blue eyes.
Yeah.
On and off the screen, he's a gentleman. He's got that humbleness about him. He's perfect.
Yes.
Christ, I'd date him. I'm a guy. Yeah. I mean, my God, he's perfect. But my problem with it is I don't understand why you're getting rid of him. You're saying you want a Superman in his 20s and 30s. Okay, well, Henry Cavill's 38. Last I looked, that's 30s.
Yeah.
Number two, like you said, why do we need to go back to the beginning to show how he became Superman again? Right. We just saw it.
Yeah.
8 years ago. I know it was a long time or whatever it was. I get it. I know it wasn't around the corner, but we got it. Okay, let's keep going.
It wasn't that far ago where we just saw Brandon Roth do it as well.
My Lord.
And Brandon Roth did a great job. He was almost like a carbon copy of Christopher Reeve.
He did do a good job. He did have a lot of a Christopher Reeve look to him, which I think did not help him.
Right.
I think it kind of took away from him playing it and more of the comparison, where Henry Cavill has his own look, his own good looks to him.
He is Superman.
Different.
He's Superman.
I agree.
Superman.
But I mean, he was in Man of Steel. He was in Batman versus Superman. He was in Justice League. And of course, as everybody knows now, there's two Justice Leagues. And I don't mean a sequel. There's a Justice League that came out that was a mess.
In the movies.
It was a mess. I was I can't even tell you how long I was waiting for this film. And it was a disaster. It was such a mess.
Did it have you feeling like, I remember I'm watching this, I'm like, well, where did this come from?
Yeah.
And why is there were scenes I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
Over. It did not do everybody compares DC to Marvel. And let's face it. As far as movies go, Marvel has been superior in every aspect.
Oh yeah.
As far as creating up to Endgame. I'm not going to go past Endgame.
Right.
But creating up to Endgame, they did it right.
Sure.
DC did not. They did not create the stories like Marvel did, then put them together a little bit, then put them together for the last Infinity War Endgame double feature, whatever you want to call it, to wrap it up to 10 years. They didn't do that. They made the mistake and did not do that. They could have. It was so sloppy. So sloppy.
No direction.
I mean, Wonder Woman was good.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 84 was horrible.
Yeah, it was. I mean, there were some good parts in it. I remember I haven't seen it in a while.
Aquaman came out. You had no continuity how they were coming out. They had nothing to connect them together.
Right.
And nothing to lead them to the Justice League. Like before Avengers came out, you had a bunch of stuff that led to the Avengers.
Right.
And then you had the other Avenger films. But luckily, I mean, Zack Snyder was pulled away from doing Justice League because of a tragedy he had to his child, his daughter. And Josh Whedon finished it. And Mr. Whedon needs to look for other work because I don't know what the heck he did with that. But because social media can be used for good.
Yes, it can.
Fans spoke, and we got Zack Snyder's Justice League given to us anyway.
And that was amazing.
How crazy is that? How crazy, how completely opposite is that from the one that was released in theaters?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, you're an hour and a half. I think it was like the Snyder or the Josh Whedon. The Snyder was almost 4 hours.
It was long. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what, though?
It was worth every second because.
Well, not even that it was worth every second. I was looking forward to the next chapter. Every time they said chapter 3 or whatever it was on there.
Yeah.
Okay, is there 4? Is 4 coming? I didn't even realize how long it was until it was ended. It over.
Right.
I didn't even know it was that long. I knew it was going to be long.
I mean, do you remember the scene where he's having the dream? Batman's having the dream. And he's got the big I don't know, the big
like the leather overcoat.
Yeah, the duster jacket and the goggles.
Yeah.
And the first movie, it made no sense.
None.
Like that's what I'm saying. Where did this come? What is this about? But then you go to Snyder and they bring in, you see the Joker, you see other characters, and you see where the duster, the jacket and the goggles and the whole scene.
It was so well done. It's a shame.
And Superman coming into the movie, let her die, and oh my God, like this is completely different.
That's the crazy part about it. If somebody had to come in and continue directing a film for me that was 3/4 done, you don't think it'd be that different. Like, how could it be that different?
Right.
But obviously this guy came in and just redid everything because it wasn't even close.
The editing was, I don't know, it's just so choppy,
Yeah.
Choppy. It just didn't.
I will admit the casting of some of the characters. Like I'm not a big Jason Momoa fan as Aquaman. I like the guy. I like his acting. I like his movies. I do wish they would have gone like he was too much of a rebel with the long hair and the trying to be a hard tough guy. I thought it was a little too much. It was a little overboard, and I think they should have had somebody.
I believe that new Aquaman. Now this is going back a little way, maybe 10 years ago or so. Because I remember when they revamped Aquaman, because the new Aquaman came out of Syracuse University. One of the students up there like revamped this Aquaman with the hair and the whole 9 yards, So, I mean, if you're going to follow you and I growing up, we saw the yellow and the green.
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't expect it to look like the Super Friends on ABC morning cartoons. Yeah. I didn't want it to be that crazy. I just thought it should have been a little more. I mean, like his come was great. In the end of the first one, it had the comic book look to it. I just wish he was a little toned down. First of all, I wish his hair was a little more blonde. I do, because that's Aquaman. Yeah. And I do wish he would have toned down a little bit the drinking and the tough guy and stuff. Just a little bit. I think he turned it on a little too hard.
Okay.
Compared to the books. That's my opinion. I mean, he's not bad. I will admit I'm not a huge fan of the guy who's playing Flash.
No.
I don't like that casting at all.
Urza Miller?
Yeah.
Erza.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of trouble lately.
Ezra.
He's been a little,
Well, not even because of the nonsense trouble he's been in the headlines. He just doesn't look the part. Right. Did you ever watch The Flash on the TV show, CW?
I did. I liked him.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying you should take him because, obviously it almost never happens. They go TV to film in the same role.
Right.
But that should have been the look, the college boy, boy next door, everyday look. And he nailed it. He did a great job.
Right. Well, I watched that one. Did you watch the one before that? The Flash before that one?
No.
Oh,
the one with I know who you're talking about. He's in The Flash, right? Doesn't he play his father or something or whatever?
Yeah. I liked him too,
I didn't watch that one.
It's tough, going into these movies, like we were talking with Keaton and Batman, and you're going in with a preconceived notion, or an idea of what you or me think Bruce Wayne and Batman look like.
It's also based on, like you said, years of reading comic books, seeing the storylines. I'll be the first to admit, I thought the Batman with Robert Pattinson, I was saying, you kidding me? You cast Twilight Boy as Batman?
I said the same thing.
But I have to admit, you saw it, right?
I did.
Okay. I have to admit, based on the story of Batman Year One, which is what it's based on.
Yes.
And he is the younger Batman, where he's kind of in that film. He does a great part where he's running toward a building and he goes he gets all scared because he's at the edge of the building. Batman later doesn't care. He doesn't do that, but he's new at this.
Right.
And he's a little more brooding, where he's a kid trying to understand how to be Batman. And so the casting was actually very well done. And you really didn't see a lot of Bruce Wayne. You saw more Batman in that film.
Right.
Which was good because he really wasn't the playboy Batman, Bruce Wayne yet.
Right. And he was you're exactly 100% correct. When you say Batman Year One, Bruce Wayne, he's dressing up all in black, almost as a ninja, trying to learn the game,
Yep.
So I completely agree with that Batman with Patterson. And I was very leery going into that movie.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
But after, having read Year One years ago and then
same
following the movie, I'm like, I can see the comic book in my head playing it out. I'm like, okay, we're staying on track. I like it.
Right. And now see, that's what aggravates me too. If this is what James Gunn's idea is of building a young established foundation of DC characters, why wouldn't you use Pattinson as Batman? He's young. Why wouldn't he? And he had a great start to a film. He's becoming Batman. Okay, let's move on with him. But he's not. He's casting another Batman. And I will admit,
wait a minute, Batmobile. This is all brand new. This is new news to me. What?
Oh, okay. They're not. Yeah, Pattinson's Batman is a different universe. He's not going to be. I know.
These universes are killing me. How many?
He's not going to be in the universe that James Gunn is doing. Right? It's a whole separate world. It's a separate everything.
Well, we kind of saw it in the comic books because after a while, was it? I can't remember the writers' names, but it seems like they'd write themselves into a corner. After so many issues, whether it was Batman, Batman and Robin, Detective. Batman Year One, Batman Year Two.
Well, there is only so much you could do. There's only so many storylines you could do, and then you either have to start over or kind of go back to the beginning somehow to kind of start over again.
But then just to come up with another universe, because there was, I remember I never read any of it because it was in the early 2000s. It was something like the New World Universe or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I didn't read that either. No, I didn't read any of those.
It kind of drives me nuts. You're right. Yeah. You can only do so much. I remember
you can, but I just don't understand why you wouldn't use it for your own basically stepping stone to your universe you want to. It did very well.
Yeah,
it was a good movie. It was a very good movie. They had good. Penguin was great. He played a good Batman. Catwoman. He had an awesome Batmobile.
Yeah,
he had the best Batmobile since Keaton.
Yeah,
but why wouldn't you use that as a stepping stone to go to the next one? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Where, somehow Wonder Woman comes into play or whoever. I don't know, or Superman, whatever. But in the meantime, we still have, oh my goodness, Flash coming out in June, which is, in his words, there it is right there. There's the two Batman, because Affleck's Batman is in it. It is confirmed. I read he's only in it briefly. And then, of course, we all know Keaton's in it. We've seen the commercial.
Yes.
But in James Gunn's words, that is the reboot. It's a reboot for DC. Like, this movie is starting of the reboot.
Oh,
so
okay.
Basically, however this movie proceeds and ends is continuing from there.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't
know. I'm interested in seeing it based on, of course, Keaton's in it. The storyline. He goes to a different timeline to stop his mom from getting killed, and he messes things up, and he creates a different timeline, and then somehow he finds Michael Keaton's Batman, and so he runs into, obviously, Ben Affleck's Batman.
Which I got to say, Ben Affleck did an amazing job.
I agree. For the Batman he was portraying. Yeah, I agree. For the Batman he was portraying, because at that point in Batman's career and in the comic book timeline, he was older. He was graying. He was a little bit over Gotham. I've been doing this for this long, and I kind of really haven't made a dent. He was getting a lot more physical with taking people down. Wasn't killing them. He still didn't kill.
Nope.
They definitely put a lot more hurting on him than he used to.
Yeah, it was kind of
he did a great job.
Dark Knight Returns. Kind of pre-Dark Knight Returns.
He did a phenomenal job.
I loved him, and I was to see him, that's how I would picture a movie Batman to be.
Yeah, he had the chin. He was ripped up. I mean, he was when he showed him doing in Batman versus Superman, when he was doing the workout scene, he was just shredded. I mean, he's a big guy too. I think he's like 6'4".
Yeah,
he's big. But you could have taken it from there. He was supposed to do the Batman. He was supposed to direct and write the Batman.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, and then something happened, whatever, behind the scene offices with people who think they know what they're doing.
See, now if I'm a director, if I'm casting a movie or whatever, in my mind, and I've talked to friends about this in great length, is like, I'm going to go out, if I'm going to reboot this whole series, I'm going to go out and I'm going to find a nobody, who looks the part, and I'm going to hire them. I'm going to sign them into a contract for 20 years. You will play this part, nobody else.
Right.
In my mind, that's how I want it to be.
Well, that's kind of what they did. Excuse me. It's kind of what they were trying to do. They signed Henry Cavill to 6 pictures or whatever it was, and Gal Gadot to 6 pictures, and so forth and so on. But they didn't piece it together like they should have. I mean, Man of Steel, Batman, Superman, Justice League, Henry Cavill did 3. So maybe it was a 3-picture deal. I don't know. I don't think cameos have anything to do with it. Justice League, Batman versus Superman was Batman. So he only did 2. Gal Gadot did Wonder Woman 84, Batman versus Superman, and Justice League. So she did 4. And then Aquaman did Justice League, Aquaman, and the sequel's coming out. That's 3.
Right.
Flash did 1 and now going into 2.
Right.
So I don't know what they were doing. I don't know. The people at DC Cinematic Universe need to hire a
Marvel guy.
Hire somebody. Yeah. They should hire a Marvel guy. Kevin Feige knows what he's doing, man. I mean, look what he did.
And John Favreau is not only did he act in the Marvels, but he directed a lot of them. And
he directed the original Iron Man.
Yeah.
I mean, he did a phenomenal job. But it's like they had a game plan. Let's do this, then this, then this, then this, and we're going to make all these movies, and it's going to lead up to the last 2 Avengers, Infinity War and Endgame.
Right.
And they did. The entire world was talking about it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I haven't seen an audience react like when Cap, when the Thor's hammer was shaken, and then you saw Cap got it. The theater went insane. I haven't seen that since Rocky.
Right, I mean, right.
The theater literally went insane, like it was really happening. And to get that emotion and that's where DC's failing. It's not that you're not caring enough about it. You're just throwing it together to get it out there.
How did you feel? It was not. I'm not. It's been a while since I've watched them. When they died, when they were just. I was like, what? What?
It wasn't it didn't hit me emotionally as it did in Infinity Wars when they started dusting away.
Yeah.
In Endgame, though, when Tony Stark was saying goodbye to Peter Parker, when that when he died there, that hit me. I teared up. I was like, oh man, these are
superhero movies, and I'm like, I'm devastated.
He's not supposed to die.
You can't die.
He's not supposed to. He's Iron Man. Yeah. But I mean, I hope. All we can do is see, pal. That's all we can do is see what's going to happen, and hope for the good. And on June 12th or whatever it is, when the Flash comes out, that's supposedly starting the new universe, and we'll see what happens from there.
Okay, well, how many Spider-Man reboots can we watch? So, Tobey Maguire and this one and that one, and, it's like
exactly. But we'll see. But the good and bad of this is that with these universes, these multiverses, and these quantum realms and everything, anything can happen. You could write anything. It's just like the comic books. Yeah, the death of Superman. I remember I had the Death of Superman comic book. I had every different version of it in the plastic. I had it all nice and everything.
Yeah.
We knew Superman wasn't dying. He's Superman.
Right. Yeah. Superman doesn't die, He just runs. He's sleeping for a little while.
He's just going to sleep for a little bit.
But I did like the black outfit, when he came out with that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff. We'll see. We'll have to talk about we'll have to go when June when the Flash comes out, we'll have to have another episode. We'll talk about the future.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely going to go see that one.
Maybe they'll fire James Gunn to hire us. So,
hey, yeah, I'm available.
Exactly.
We'll set you guys straight.
Bob, you got it, man. We'll put your merchandise up here. You got some Batman or Superman merch here.
You know what?
My younger daughter's a Superman freak.
Okay.
She's the Superman girl.
I haven't done it. Being as big a Batman fan than I am, I haven't done anything. So, I should put that in my repertoire.
Dark Knight Alley or something, or a street name. Yeah. And, of course, you got to go here to get them. You got to contact message them there. Tell them what Marvel or DC character you want on the street signs or coast. But as always, my friend, another good one. We'll have to talk again after some of the new ones come out. We'll see.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
As always, I always do. We'll see you next week.
You got it, buddy.
All right, I'll see you. All righty, my friend. Always, he does an amazing job with us. Love having him here. And we could keep going. This is our longest show yet, but we could have kept going when it comes to DC, him and I. We could have another hour. But we'll talk to you guys next week. I appreciate you coming on and watching, and thank you.